What's good, YouTube? Your man Daryl G, and today I got something special for us. I've got something a little different. I've got some scary stories, 10 extremely disturbing, real experiences by Reddit users. These are scary stories. These are things that, you know, had something funky, had something strange happening that Reddit users reported and just put into a little bit of narration so that we can enjoy it. All right, let's go ahead and get on with the video. Like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comment sections if you find any of these a little disturbing, a little scary, or you know there's something weird going on in the story that needs further discussion. All right, y'all, let's go.
The brakes went out on my car, way out in the Bonnies, probably 10 miles from the nearest town, and a few to the nearest house. I went into a ditch, where I split my head open pretty good on the side window, and I broke my arm and a few ribs. So, I'm in pain, it's pretty hard to breathe, and as it's around 1997, I didn't have a cell phone. Nothing I could do but start walking. It was a moonless, cloudy night. In other words, pitch, and I mean pitch black. I could only tell I was still on the road by the sound my feet made on the concrete. I couldn't even see my hand in front of me. So, here I am, in the middle of nowhere, bleeding out of my head from a gash that went on to need 35 stitches, with a broken arm, broken ribs, and I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face.
Oh, gosh.
And what do I hear behind me? The warbling call of a coyote. Then another. And another. Next thing I know, there must have been 20 of them, and they sound like they're in a damned blood frenzy. Now, under normal circumstances, I reckon I could probably take a few coyotes. But I can
Not
barely
me.
lift my broken left arm,
Not me.
and even moving my right arm makes my ribs light on fire.
About 5, 6 coyotes.
So,
I'm
I
just
realize
coyote
I'm in a
food.
very serious amount of trouble. Nothing for it but to keep walking.
That's all you can
They're
do.
close now. Can't be more than 100 yards. Finally, I see the light of a house in the distance. I want to run, but I don't. I maintain my pace.
Better run.
I walk up to this place, and with no amount of manliness in my voice, I proceed to bang very loudly on their door, and I beg for them to let me in. Finally, some old man answers the door.
Some Jeepers
He
Creepers.
pulls a gun on me, and he asks what I'm doing, banging on his door at 2 in the morning.
You got them coyotes.
I got into a car crash, and there are coyotes after me. Please let me in so I can call for help.
Please.
The guy grabs and shines a mag light back behind me, and sure as shit, there had to be 25 to 30 coyotes. Seriously, if that house was another mile away, or if I had lost consciousness in the crash or on the road, I would have been eaten.
Yo, I'm glad you made it, brother. That's crazy. 25, 30 coyotes? I don't think I've ever seen
I
25
was
or
heading to
30
the store at
of
around 2
any
a.m.
animal that size in
I
one
worked
place.
late night shifts, and I saw a guy pulled off to the side of the road, and he was jumping around in a pure panic,
What in the
trying to
wild?
flag down a car. I stopped to help, and as I'm walking towards his car, I see that his passenger side windshield is smashed in. I look further down the street, and there's a body in the gutter. The driver is on the phone to 911, and justifiably in freak-out mode. I'd seen a cop about a half mile back, so I drove to bring him over. When we got back, the person in the gutter was still breathing, since his chest was still rising and falling. But he was mangled, all to hell and back, blood everywhere, and limbs contorted in some sickening angles. I don't know why,
got
but
tore
the
up.
officer touched his neck to check his pulse, and the guy's head just rolled backwards, like his neck was jelly, and some brain matter fell out of the back of the guy's skull, with this horrible slurp sound that melons make when you cut them open. My passenger started throwing up. The driver started crying and screaming, "He's dead." and the cop and I just locked eyes for a weird moment before he said, "Fuck." Then he stepped back. The cop looked to be about my age at the time, in his early 20s, so I think he was feeling about as helpless as I did.
He was in shock, I
It
bet.
turns out that the police were in the area, looking for a guy who kept jumping in front of traffic. It was a homeless man, trying to kill himself, and he finally succeeded.
Get what you ask for sometimes, don't you? Careful what you
I was
ask
on
for.
vacation in Ithaca with my boyfriend at the time. We had literally, I'm talking about 10 minutes, just gotten into town and stopped at a suspension bridge near Cornell's campus. I'm terrified of heights, and so my boyfriend was coaxing me step by step over the bridge. It was gorgeous, and we stopped at the middle to take a picture. On the side we had come from, there was a parking lot with steps leading to the bottom of the gorge. But on the far side, there were hiking paths with no barriers. A woman walked past us and offered to take a picture for us. We declined, and she smiled and walked quickly to the far side of the bridge, where she smoothly jumped off into the gorge.
Used to have a lot of those walkways.
There wasn't a second of hesitation.
I lived in Europe.
It was
there.
almost like she expected the path to keep
no
going.
rails and nothing on them.
The
You just
sound of
fall
a
off.
person hitting the ground from a jump like that sticks with you.
Yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, I mean, no rails, no nothing, no safety, just right there on the edge, and probably been
I was
like that for hundreds of
standing
years.
on my balcony when I saw some drunk guy flash before my eyes. I was on the 10th floor, and apparently he had fallen over from the 21st floor.
Hey,
The split second he passed by, I got to see his look of fear, shock, disbelief, and a whole bunch of other emotions before he fell to the floor in a thud and a crack. You could just tell that he was dead.
I bet it all hits you all at one time, right in that moment. Everything. Like I said, life
My
flashes before
husband
your
and I
eyes.
were on a road trip. We were coming back to Louisiana from Iowa. We would drive in 4-hour shifts while the other person slept in the back of the car. It was about 3 in the morning, and he woke me up to start my shift. I looked around and I didn't see another car in sight, or even a street light or building. He had taken an alternate route which he thought would be faster. Finally, we come across a small, local gas station with a single light on. It was closed, and our car was the only one there. We pull over, and as I'm getting ready to open my car door and switch places with my husband, he tells me to hold on. I look up,
What you
and
see?
from behind the back of the gas station, a man wearing rags was shambling towards us, quickly. Not quite running,
Ooh.
which made it even scarier. It was like in a zombie-esque way.
Yeah, but they still fast though. I watch
told my
enough
husband
Jason
to
movies.
hurry and drive away.
They can walk and catch you.
However, he was intrigued. He just stared ahead as the guy was getting closer and closer. I started freaking out.
It better be your
and
husband,
screaming for
cousin.
him to go
Practical
until
joke.
he did. As he drove away, I looked behind us until the gas station disappeared. As far as I could see, the man was following the car at the same odd pace. Gives me chills. Big time. I was
Y'all know
once
that.
in a hot tub with a few friends late one night, and we were all telling some stories. One of the guys told us this one. A story of a girl he knows. Multiple people in the hot tub knew her as well, and they all verified this was true. So one day, this girl was called over to babysit. She babysat a lot for these people, and so it was routine for her. Anyway, she was told to put the kids to bed at 9, and she did. After she put them to bed, she started watching TV and doing some homework, waiting for the parents to come home. But then, she started hearing some noises coming out of the basement, like pans falling and stuff. She just ignored it and thought it was the washing machine or something.
It's never nothing good in the basement.
A little later, she starts hearing the noises again. She decided to call the police.
You don't
and
go
tell
into other
them
people's
that
basements.
She was hearing some weird noises coming
You
out
never
of the
know what you're
basement
gonna find.
at the house she was babysitting at. The lady at the station told her there's a patroller in the area and that he'll be with her in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
In about 5 minutes, she hears a knock on the door. She answers, and it's a full SWAT team. She later found out that after she hung up the phone, the lady at the station heard a second phone on the line hang up. It ended up that there was a man in the basement listening to the conversation.
What?
Since the lady in the station waited and heard him hang up, she ordered the full SWAT team to help. They went downstairs and caught him. He was wanted for several cases of rapes.
That's crazy. He was coming over there to do something strange for a piece. Oh.
I was walking through a graveyard yesterday when I stepped on a broken piece of headstone with just my birthday on it. I think the creepiest part about it was that it was just sitting there, no other broken pieces near it, and I just happened to step right on it.
That put a little chill in you if that happens to you, don't it?
My dad died of cancer the day I turned 16, after about 2 weeks in a coma. It was really fast, less than 2 months between diagnosis and death. He died in the house. We had a hospice attendant, and my mum was very good about seeing to him in those final days. Anyway, a lot of weird shit happened after he passed, but the one that still freaks me out when I think about it is what happened 12 hours before he took to bed for the last time. He was in our living room, napping on the couch, while my mum was in the kitchen cooking. No one else was home. Suddenly, he jerked awake and was shouting for my mum in a very loud, agitated voice. Clearly, he was angry with her. Beverly, don't do that. Don't do that ever again. She ran into the room, alarmed, and asked what he was talking about.
Yeah, calling out to you.
He said, "Don't do that. Don't walk past me in that long black wig." Sometimes, I think he saw death.
He didn't just see death. He probably saw an old family member that looked like her. Somebody relative.
I was home from college for the
He
weekend.
saw a spirit.
Which was about
It was
an hour
coming to
away
get
from
him.
my parents' place.
It was time.
I got a call that some of my friends were planning on doing something or other. So, I left my parents' house just after 9, no later than 9:30. When I got there, my friends were completely done with what they were doing and were wondering where I had been. That's when I noticed it was almost 2 in the morning. The route was almost entirely country driving, without the possibility of any traffic,
Man.
or at least any traffic that would slow you down.
That's them black roads.
I
You
didn't
can't see
stop
nothing.
for anything.
Country roads, no lights.
To this day, I have no idea where those hours went.
You never
Please
know out
note
there either.
that I found this last experience to be particularly shocking. Those
Oh,
of you who
man.
are easily upset should stop the video now.
Y'all hear that? Stop the video, but like, subscribe, and hit that
I did a
that button
month working
first.
in a slum in Kenya.
Listen
You
close.
would see women with starving children dangling from their arms, begging you for money. We would donate a few bucks because, why not? This kid was going to starve to death in a matter of days. But day after day, we slowly realized it was the same baby being held by multiple women. And the women were almost slightly overweight, and the baby was still starving. It was always the same starving baby. Turns out that these women, one of them the mother, would use this unwanted child to make income.
That's so disgusting.
Until it starved to death.
That is ridiculous. Oh,
I have
man,
never
that is...
understood how someone could just watch, let alone their own child, starve.
Whew. Yo, be thankful for what you got. Be thankful for those in your family, in your life that love you. For all the things that you have. For, people who really care about you and helped you throughout your lifetime. Be thankful for that, man, and just know that we're all blessed in some way. We made it this far. We're all blessed to make it this far, man. But yo, that's Daryl G. We got to end it on a positive note somehow, because that last story was a tough one, boy. Let me tell you right now, it's tough. But yeah, it's your boy. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications buttons. You want more videos? You know, I'm coming through with these every day. So holla at your boys. Daryl G. I'm out. Peace.